Anne, Princess Royal, KG, KT, GCVO, GCStJ, QSO, CD234, Anne Elizabeth Alice Louise, born August 15, 1950, is the second child and only daughter of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. She is 14th in line to the throne as of August 2019 Update B, and has been Princess Royal since 1987. 5. Anne is known for her high-profile charity work, which involves her patronage of more than 200 organizations, many of which aim to improve transport and health in developing countries, and the well-being and education of children. In her youth, Anne was known for her equestrianism. She won 2 silver medals, 1975, and 1 gold medal, 1971, at the European Eventing Championships. 6. She is the first member of the British royal family to have competed in the Olympic Games. In 1973, Anne married Captain Mark Phillips, but they separated in 1989 and divorced in 1992. The couple had 2 children, Zara and Peter Phillips, and 4 grandchildren. Within months of her divorce, Anne married Commander, now Vice Admiral, Sir Timothy Laurence, whom she had met while he served as her mother's equerry between 1986 and 1989. Anne was born during the reign of her maternal grandfather, King George VI, at Clarence House on August 15, 1950 at 11:50 a.m., 7, as the second child and only daughter of Princess Elizabeth, Duchess of Edinburgh, and Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. A 21-gun salute in Hyde Park signaled the birth. 8. Anne was baptized in the music room of Buckingham Palace on October 21, 1950, by Archbishop of York, Cyril Garbett. c. At the time of her birth, she was third in the line of succession to the British throne, behind her mother, at that time Princess Elizabeth, and older brother, Charles. She rose to second after her mother's accession but is 14th in line as of August 2019 Update. D. A governess, Catherine Peebles, was appointed to look after Anne and was responsible for her early education at Buckingham Palace. 10. Peebles also served as early governess for Anne's older brother, Charles. After the death of George VI in February 1952, Anne's mother ascended the throne as Queen Elizabeth II. Given her young age at the time, Anne did not attend the coronation in June 1953. A Girl Guides Company, the first Buckingham Palace company to include the Holy Trinity Brompton Brownie Pack, was reformed in May 1959, specifically so that, as her mother and aunt had done as children, Anne could socialize with girls her own age. The company was active until 1963, when Anne went to boarding school. 11. Anne enrolled at Benenden School in 1963. In 1968, she left school with 6 GCEO levels and 2 A levels. 10. In the next couple of years, Anne started dating. In 1970, her first boyfriend was Andrew Parker Bowles, who later married Camilla Shand. Shand much later married Anne's brother, Prince Charles, as his second wife. 12. Anne first met her future husband Mark Phillips in 1968 at a party for equestrians and horse enthusiasts. 13. Their engagement was announced on May 29, 1973. 14-15. On November 14, 1973, Anne married Phillips, a lieutenant in the 1st Queen's Dragoon Guards, at Westminster Abbey in a ceremony that was televised around the world, with an estimated audience of 100 million. 16. Following the wedding, Anne and her husband lived at Gatcombe Park. He was made acting captain by the start of 1974 when he was appointed a personal aide-de-camp to Queen Elizabeth II. As was customary for untitled men marrying into the royal family, Phillips was offered an earldom. He declined this offer, and consequently their children were born without courtesy titles. 17. The couple would have 2 children, Peter, born 1977, and Zara Phillips, born 1981. 18. On August 31, 1989, Anne and Phillips announced their intention to separate, as the marriage had been under strain for a number of years. 13-19, the couple had been rarely seen in public together, and both were romantically linked with other people. 13-20, they continued to share the custody of their children, and initially announced that there were no plans for divorce. 21-22, they eventually divorced on April 23, 1992. 23, Anne and Phillips have 4 grandchildren. As Princess Anne and Mark Phillips were returning to Buckingham Palace on March 20, 1974, from a charity event on Pall Mall, their Princess 4 car was forced to stop on the mall by a Ford Escort. 24. The driver of the Escort, Ian Ball, jumped out and began firing a pistol. Inspector James Beaton, Anne's personal police officer, responded by exiting the car in order to shield her and to attempt to disarm Ball. However, Beaton's firearm, a Walter PPK, jammed, and he was shot by the assailant, as was Anne's chauffeur, Alex Callender, when he tried to disarm Ball. 25. Brian McConnell, a nearby tabloid journalist, also intervened, and was shot in the chest. 26. Ball approached Anne's car and told her that he intended to kidnap her and hold her for ransom, the sum given by varying sources as £2 million 27, or £3 million, which he claimed he intended to give to the National Health Service. 24. Ball told Anne to get out of the car, to which she replied, "Not bloody likely," and reportedly briefly considered hitting Ball. 28.